So you wanted to sell some coloring books into Amazon using the artificial intelligence. Basically here, to get started, for example, coloring books are the ultimate print-on-demand businesses. So you design it once and Amazon handles the printing for shipping forever. So to do this process, you want to focus for the niche research. So you don't guess what sells. You go to the best sellers list and look for, let's say, into Amazon. So once we are directly here into Amazon, what I wanted to do is to make sure that I am into the right place. So if I head over for the country, I'm going to be changing this, let's say from United States. Once we are directly inside here, what I wanted to do is to look out for the element that says the browser. And here I wanted to look out for the element that says the best sellers. And let's say I'm going to go for books. So let's say that here into the left section, let's say that I focused for books like this, and you can use a tool like the Helium 10 or the Publisher Rocket, for example, where you're looking for the actual keywords to make this process much more faster. So let's say that I go for low content books, best sellers, and here is, for example, there is the plural. I'm going to go for coloring. And you can see, for example, that we have content creators coloring book for the whole family, adults, children, and content. There is the lowrider coloring books, I believe cars. And I wanted to delete this element and see which one is much more likely to make the actual purchase. For example, we have coloring book for kids, theme-based worksheets, and there's so much more. So basically what you want to do is to focus into one that actually is going to be pretty helpful for all of them. So once you find your theme, you can stick to it. A cohesive book sells better than a random collection images. Now to generate the actual art, we're going to be using, you can use Midjourney, but we can try out, for example, with even Gemini. So basically here, the magic words, or let's say, for example, that we can do is to open a new tab. Let's go for coloring book AI. There are more free page generators that can be helping you with all of these elements, but basically what I'll be trying out with some Google Gemini. Now the magic works here because what we can do is to focus, for example, with the actual prompt. Let's say create a coloring book page for kids. Then let's say, for example, cute baby dragon, thick. It's going to be really important to highlight the thick black lines, obviously a white background, no shading, really important to add this, and high contrast. I can strongly suggest to go for high contrast, and there we go. So the magic here is the thick black lines, which I think is going to be really important to highlight this, and the white background, because no shading, of course. This ensures the user isn't just coloring over your AI grays pixels. Now since this is for a page for kids, you want to just go for the element that says thinking, really important, and hit for the element that says continue. So to keep your characters consistent across 30 pages, for example, you can use the Berry Region tool or the character references if you're using the Midjourney. If you're not, you want to make sure that when you're using, for example, if you're using, for example, ChatGPT or Gemini, you want to do all of this directly into the same chat element. When you click directly into the image that was generated, for example, you want to make sure that you are using the exact tools to make sure that it's actually looking really well. So basically, for example, even Gemini has their own ways of how you can actually make the actual coloring of this kind of elements, and you don't have to focus a lot in that. But for example, this is just how you can actually make the actual coloring in a really easily way. So in my case, what I want to be doing here is to make sure that I have now the actual shapes of it. So let's say that we can now upscale and vectorize. So the AI images are pixels. If you print them as is, they are going to be looking blurry, so you need to turn them into vectors. And you can use AI upscaler into vectorizers, so this allows you to scale the image to any size without losing the actual crisp. Sharp black lines that pro coloring books have. So basically what you can do, for example, is to use vector magic. You can use Adobe Illustrator as if. So as you can see, we do have different ways, and it actually doesn't look that bad. In my case, I'm going to go and open, for example, the vector magic, which I think is going to be really helpful to vectorize this kind of, in my case, this kind of images. So in my case, I go for the option that says drag image here. I go for downloads. I select the first image, and here I have the colorized images. It says uploading the actual images. It says analyze the actual images and the vectorizing the images. So it can take a little bit of time, but once you finish with this element, you're actually good to go. Now we can now start by publishing directly here into Amazon with the actual KDP of the Amazon. Let me explain this a little bit more. Amazon KDP is an actual place where you can upload your PDF files, interiors, and your colorful covers. And basically, you can now start by selling your own ebooks, paperbacks, hardcovers, or even series directly into the Kindle Direct Publishing, totally for free. So once you created an actual book, it will be showing up directly here into the bookshelf. So how do I know how to create an actual book, right? If you click, for example, for the element that says the bookshelf here, you can enter the book details. If this is for a book title, editions, all the keywords, the categories, the right pricing, and that will be actually it. So basically what I wanted to do here is that you can do this, for example, even with Canva. So into Canva, what I can do is to open in the top. Let's say, for example, that I go for the element that says book creator, and it's specifically speaking about how to actually get started directly inside it. So check out how it actually looks, the virtualized element, and you can download out the actual result. And check, if I make the actual zoom, you can see that my element is now vectorized and I don't have to focus a lot in there. So you can now download out the actual result file only result. There's the SVG, the EPS, and there we go. So here's the struct and the fill result in SVG, EPS, whatever. So you wanted to make sure that you can now check out the one that you were looking for. In my case, let's say, for example, to go for only the one that says stroke. So the stroke, which usually should be appearing directly inside here, and you can download it as an actual PDF file. So there you go. Now when you finish with this element, now that you know how to make the uploading of the element, you're actually good to go. What I can totally suggest you is that if you don't know how to generate this kind of element, you want to make sure that you can check out all of the, in my case, let's say, for example, like the prerequisites of how you can actually import your own information for, in my case, let's say, making this kind of coloring books. So when you finish with this element, you're actually good to go, and you can now start to sell your actual products directly here into Amazon, totally for free. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, guys, if you want to see more great tools like this. Take your time even into Canva, for example, the one that I'm actually currently using, to generate your own pages for your actual book. So thank you once again for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe once again to this channel, and well, have lots of fun with these great elements. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time.